that straight away, I mean, I don't know what her plan was for that lesson, but it felt like she's just changing as we're going along. Like she's just completely opened to go. What's the word? It's not like a set class. She's understanding where you're going.
500, 700, 900, again, 500, 700, 900, again, 500, 700, 900, together, 500, 700, 900, hey, 500.
So then it becomes synergistic with who you are even that day, because that some days you feel more shy or nervous or something else is happening in your life. So it's just that responding to where you're actually at in that moment. And I mean, my second lesson, it's like I'm blabbing away, asking questions and all that, and somebody else might have been a bit sort of like, oh, hang on, let me just teach you this first. But she just kept going, okay, and she was just like pinging off me, and I was pinging off her, and which came my way with a really exciting, because it's a really good energy, and I'm sure that's because she's reading me. I can only imagine that she would have a whole different response to somebody who's more linear and structured, but I'm from creative worlds, and so I'm used to,
Quisiera ser un pez para tocar mi nariz en tu pecera y hacer burbujas de amor por donde quiera. Oh, pasar la noche entera mojado en ti, un pez para.
Been teaching myself since March, so there's loads in there, but it's just all over the place. Because I've just literally just been learning vocab and just doing my best kind of thing. And now she was sort of putting it all in place for me, better ways to access it. She's getting you familiar. So you start with familiarity, and we all feel safer, I think, once you're familiar with something, and then you go back and you learn it. But then you realise, well, I already knew, she gave me a puzzle book. Well, she said, do you want any of these books, And I was like, oh, that one, because it's a puzzle book, because of course that would be typical of me, because I'm visual and kinesthetic. So there you go. And then I said, oh, should I go to the dictionary and find out what all the words? No, it's just about finding the words. And of course then you start realising that like a kid, in your own language, that's how you learn to spell, isn't it? It just becomes normal. That's how the Spanish spell things. I made a decision back in March, so I'm like 3 to 5 hours a day, just in lockdown, just learning Spanish. But for sure, like I made myself all these like that, like half the size, all little pieces of paper with the words on either side, because I realised that I can just learn things in a line, and then I know that page. And then you take words, separate them. I can't remember any of them because I've learnt them visually in a line. So I made them on. She said, "Oh, like this." And she brought out her own, and I said, "Yes." I said, "But why can't I access them?" And she said, "Oh, you have to put them in categories." Oh. So then immediately now I've applied that to everything. Yeah, because then your brain remembers easier because it knows it's from that category. So there's something, but for someone like me, that's a way of compartmentalising things without it being in a row, A, B, C, it can be all over the place, but it's sort of, anyway, so. But I had, so I went, after my second lesson, we had dinner at it's a hotel, the Mitre. They've just redone it in case you want to know. It's all really nice. And I don't know, I'd had a lesson that afternoon and I was with my girlfriends. So I was like, just desperate to speak Spanish. I said, I want to speak Spanish. So the waiter kind of like, hola. And then he started answering me in Spanish. I was like, you're Spanish. He said, see, we had a whole conversation in Spanish. My girlfriends were just going, I was like, I understood everything he said. He said he worked on the airline, this is his second, a new job. He worked for British Midlands, he's an air steward normally, but this, because of COVID, he's here. And then he said one of the other camarera waitresses, she was also worked in the theatre, she was a dancer, singer on cruise ships. I was like, I can't believe it was like he was just speaking to me. It was just absolutely brilliant.